Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us today. This is Sunil Chandy at Food for Thought, at our show Food for Thought, a ministry out of Christ Episcopal Church. And today we're doing a live show, a Friday, instead of having a recorded show that we usually do on Fridays. And the reason for that is because we have a wonderful guest today. All of our guests are wonderful, of course, but today we're honored to have our Lieutenant Governor of Rhode Island, Dan McKee here, and he is going to talk with us a little bit today about some of the initiatives that he has and how he's handling COVID 2019 and how he and our state officials are meeting the challenges of our particular moment. But until then, he's still yet coming on board. We'll invite him shortly, but until then, let's say hello to people. If you are here and watching for the first time, welcome. If you have been hey, Mary, hello. Thank you for watching again. Natalie, good afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon. It's a overcast afternoon, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And there are probably other people watching in. There is Fahad who is watching in, and Burke is watching in. Welcome. Thank you, and Deacon N in the house, as it were. And so there are so many people who are watching and connecting with us. Again, this is a ministry that's a part of our church, and a ministry that we have just started beginning at the COVID crisis in order to connect with other people, connect with our people in our local Stonington and Westerly communities. But now we found that we are connecting with people all over our country and all over the world, and people from everywhere are watching us. And so we're so very glad that our community is growing in that way. And in particular, this is a challenging time for many of us. And the food for thought I was thinking about today is because it is a challenging time, because there are so many of us, we're facing this global pandemic, right? Of course. And the pandemic, the collateral damage, of course, is not only the economy, but of all the lives that we've lost. Over 200,000 lives in the U.S. itself. And I've been noticing that I've been doing, the one aspect of ministry that I don't actually cherish, and that is the ministry of conducting funerals. But nonetheless, it's an important part of my ministry, and always I find myself on holy ground when I'm ministering to our folks who are going through some of the challenges of life. And so I've been doing a lot of funerals, and the food for thought today comes out of one of the lessons. Martha, in the Gospel of John, Martha and Mary, a text that we always read for funerals is the text from John chapter 11. And it's the one in which Martha and Mary had just lost her brother, Lazarus. Jesus is on the road teaching and preaching all over the place. And Lazarus is very sick, and then he dies. They sent him a message, but it didn't reach him in time. And then by the time he reaches back, Lazarus has already died. And so Martha says, Lord, if you had only been here, things might have been different. And then Jesus says something that was really pretty interesting. He says, Martha, what do you believe? What do you believe? And then she says, I believe you are the Messiah, the one anointed, coming in to save us all. And then he says, I am the resurrection and the way, the way, the truth, the life. I am the resurrection. In me, those who believe in me will find hope and joy. And then, of course, the scriptures describe where there's a miracle that happens, and Lazarus is resurrected from the dead. But I think the seminal point, I think, in that conversation for me at this moment in my life is the question, what do we believe? What do we believe? What we believe shapes how we see the world, how we act in the world, shapes our character, and shapes the destiny of our lives. If we believe in something, and then hold on to it with integrity and hope, that belief can lead us to wonderful places, places of great community, of joy and hope. But we also, in the same vein, a negative belief about ourselves or the people around us also can lead us in a particular orientation and a particular direction of life as we act consistently with our beliefs. For Martha and Mary, Jesus asked that pointed question: what is it that you believe? I think this is a question that all of us should ask themselves, or ourselves. What do we believe? Not just about our faith, but about who we are and how we are called to act in the world. Because who we are helps us to define how we act in the world. If we believe in the basic goodness of people, then we will act with that in mind. If we believe that people are, by definition or by human condition, bad, then we act consistent with that belief. If we believe that we are created in the image of God, we act consistent with that. And so my hope is that you will trust and have faith in our common Christian belief, which is, and belief that points to that we are all beloved of God. We're created with a purpose and a hope to bring people together, to make the world a better place, to live in community and in peace. When we have that kind of belief, whether you're a Christian or not, whether if you may be Buddhist or Islamic or Jewish or Hindu, or even atheists, at the core is this question of what do you believe? And how will you act consistently with your belief about yourself and the world around you? My hope is that you will believe hopefully and joyfully. Today we have a wonderful guest, and he is not a stranger to our Christchurch community. In fact, our warden, Caswell Cook, helps him on his campaign. With Ben Barber, our producer of our show, is helping the Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee do his own show as he continues to do ministry and he's connect with people in our community, of course. And he has been to a couple of our services. In fact, for our lessons and carols he read last year, and he's been a joy. He's been championing the small business community his entire time in his office, and he was a former small business owner himself and a former mayor of Cumberland, and of course now he's the lieutenant governor in an administration that's doing wonders. In this global pandemic, I think I am just so proud that I'm in Rhode Island, and then I have elected leaders such as our lieutenant governor and our governor, both of whom are doing outstanding jobs in this community. He hosts on Wednesday nights a community conversation where he invites panelists to take a deeper look at issues in our communities, such as Black Lives Matters, nursing homes and healthy aging, economic development plans, police and first responders, veterans issues, and so on. What I know him to be, my experience of our Lieutenant Governor is one of, I cherish my experience with him. He's a good man with a good heart, and he's trying to connect and do good in the world. And so, Ben, please invite our Lieutenant Governor. Hi, Lieutenant Governor. How are you?
Good morning. It's so great to be here with you. Your church has been so welcoming to me and many others throughout the area in Westerly and beyond. So when I heard you had this program going and spreading the good word, I could not be here, Father. So thank you so much for the invitation, and and yes, I have you know, Caswell's a good friend, and but we have many good friends, including yourself down in Westerly, and we make the effort to get out to all our communities, and you know, we laugh and we pray and we cry with everyone, and we've attended, like you said, those services with your Christmas, you know, holidays there, in terms of the that really solemn event that is really joyous.
Yeah.
And of course, we've attended funerals at your church as well, to, you know, to celebrate the lives of people who have lost their lives far too early. And I still recall the gun violence issue that happened in your community. So, yeah, we're with you, and we're with you through the you know, the good and the bad, but also we have the faith that that we all you know, we all are brothers and sisters, and we try to make sure that we communicate with one another. So happy to share the things that we're working on in our office with
Yeah.
you and your congregation.
One of the things I just so cherish about you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, is that you connect with people on very. I see you even in the events that you've come to in our church. You're always around a group of people, and you're trying to reach out to even the people that seem out there. They seem alone. You move in the room, and you move around, and that impresses me, because it just, you know. We want state officials who can connect with us and understand our problems and our hopes and fears. And I really appreciate that of you, and I thank you for your service that way.
Well, I think that I've been very fortunate to have great parents, and you know, to instill that you know, the issue in there. And you know, my dad, when he was living, he died in '86, but he started our boys club in town, and I've followed that lead over the years, with being involved as a member and a board member and a president of the club, and started the endowment fund. And when Sue and I started our family, you know, I got out of the boardroom into the gym, and I think that experience, that hands-on that you just described, you know, we need to have people who are in those executive positions, those leadership positions, but we also need those leaders to get right on the ground,
Yeah,
right in the gym with the families,
yeah,
and hands-on. And I think that carries over when we get into a health crisis like we're in right now. I always bring a mask of some sort with me to make sure people understand that this is serious. I got
yes,
my Unity Wins mask here, you know, on. You know, this is a time when we bring all our communities together, and we've been trying to do that in our office, as you described, whether it's helping our small businesses or really working directly with churches. You mentioned a community conversation. We'd love to have you on, Father, with the work that you're doing. We've had the members of the clergy and members of the you know, different ministries out there who are helping with food banks and helping people distribute large amounts of food, making sure that we're providing you know, the essentials to families that, quite frankly, are struggling right now.
I love that, because I think in the media what we usually get is we see a uh, um, divisiveness in our community, but what I have seen in my community here, Westerly, and the people in Rhode Island, is that people are actually connecting with each other, trying to help each other out. I mean, I see our police officers and firefighters reaching out and to those who are struggling this time in this period. And so I love it that you're bringing that aspect out, because people don't see that often. We only want to see the anger, the frustration, and the division, but there's a lot that's happening among just our regular folks who are both parties, Republican, Democrat, and in between.
Yeah, Father. So I think you play a role in that as well. And yeah, we're using, you know, virtual platforms. We're so grateful for Ben. Ben has been helping us out with, oh, I don't know how many programs we've been able to do, but you know, we're getting up to close to 100 or more right now with the two twice a week, and the different other things like this venue as well. But you bring people together, and that's something that, as I said, you know, with my dad and my mom and the boys club work, all walks of life walk through a door of a boys club. All walks of life walk through the Christ Church in Westerly.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that the more that we bring parties together, the better off we're going to be, the stronger we're going to be. And I have not. I also talk to the extremes of the on the ledger here. I think that not talking to, for instance, the Black Lives Matters or the extreme that feel as though that the police are not being treated fairly, in a real extreme way. I believe that we need to talk to everybody, and the people who are willing to actually join in a conversation, we're going to be better off on that. So that's one of the strategies that we've used, and I learned from leadership like yourself and other ministries in the state. They never say no to anybody.
Yeah.
They never. It's always you're always there to listen, to comfort, and where you can create a dialogue, especially in this time frame with the health crisis, the racial unrest that's going on. Clearly, there are issues that we need to address on the racism issues, and Rhode Island can be a leader on that, because I believe that having been a mayor for 12 years in our town and working with our local police and knowing how hard they work at trying to make sure that we bring communities together, they can play a role in this. So, but on this issue that we're dealing with, I don't think there's any more important thing right now than an open dialogue and be willing to take that risk. I was at an event, Father, in Barrington. I was asked to come in and talk about issues that related to education equality,
Yeah.
and we walked, from the church to the town hall, and joining us were people that from all different walks of life, including the Black Lives Matter. They joined in with this nonprofit group in Barrington. And when I spoke, the extreme right of the issue were criticizing me for being too friendly with the police, and the extreme left were criticizing me for being, I'm sorry, the extreme right was criticizing me for not being close enough to the police and supporting public safety. And the extreme left, in the same conversation, only 3 or 4 minutes, accused me of being a fraud, that I shouldn't be supporting the police. So, but the point I'm making here is that that's okay. We need to flush that out. You need to kind of bring these people together, and that's what our office is trying to do.
And that points to the courage of leadership, I think. I mean, I don't know, you might know better, but I think it's Abraham Lincoln who might have said something to the effect that you can't please all the people all the time, and you're going to, when a leader, when they come out there, you're leading a whole group of diverse communities. What happens is someone's not going to be happy at the end, and how what you believe about who you are, about the community, your purpose, actually define your convictions and help you to stay in that courageous spot of being unpopular with someone. And I applaud you for that courage, Lieutenant Governor. It's a hard place to be. It's a hard place to be. And that's why we, as communities of faith, need to pray for our leaders.
Yeah. Well, keep on saying the prayers, Father, because we need them. But, we're also, you mentioned the small business advocacy, and, and Caswell certainly front and center, and with the Misquamicut Business Association. We'll be doing a tour with Lisa in the chamber down in Westerly. Week. We'll let you know when we're there. This is part of your work as well. This is part of the healing process, to work with the pressure that's on many, many families economically, not only in the health issues that I kind of continue to remind people: wear your masks, wear the masks, wash your hands, do the social distancing, take this seriously, but also the economic impact. You've got to be feeling that in your congregation right now. It's got to be front and center on their minds. I know families are not sleeping at night because of this pressure. As a small business person myself, I've gone through a banking crisis with our businesses. I've gone through the internet bubble when 9/11 hit. We've gone through the real estate crisis about a decade ago, and we know that it takes a lot of persistence to work your way through that, and it takes a lot of people to provide guidance. I received help from what I refer to as my guardian angels during the most difficult times when we were facing those challenges economically and with our small businesses. And you provide that as well. And so we're encouraging all the people who might be impacted, not only in health wise, but also economically, whether it's small business wise, to be contacting our office. We will direct you in the right direction to get answers to your questions and provide you help. And then your role, Father, in terms of the work that you do and the bring people together. We encourage people who are struggling in that way to seek you out, to seek the congregate, the clergy out, get their guidance. We're all in this together. It's a cliche, but we are.
Here we are. It's true.
Together, the better.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting. You're right. Our we're a beach town. We depend on revenue from all of the activities during the summer, and now because people don't travel as much, they're not as traveling here. So there are people in our community that have been hurt, and in my community especially, and and that's the other thing that it points to. I think it's like there's a level of frustration that people have, right? And so that level of frustration, leads people to say things and do things that they might not normally do. That the level of threshold of tolerance is like lowered. And
Yes.
so, and I'm just thinking that, so here we've got someone from India watching. That's my mother on the.
Nice.
My mother's watching it.
That's great.
Governor, we've gotten global here today.
That is great. My mom is 92, Father, and actually she had a little spill. She's in the hospital right now, trying to get some help for some pain that happened on a fall. 92 years old. She's been living as my next door neighbor, for many years, and now. During the time I've been married, and now lives with us for the last 15 years. So we love our moms, right, Father?
Yeah, we love it. What's her name? We'll put her on our prayer list.
Yes, Helen Willa McKee. Put her on the prayer list. Yes.
All right, we will. We'll pray for her, Ella.
I'll let her know that.
And but back to that whole idea. I mean, and part of it is there's so much frustration, and I hope that people and even in your groups that you grab that move around you, that when they get angry at each other, just to help them to understand that they're human beings behind the anger.
Yeah, we see it. The pressure's there, and like you said, we're working with small businesses, but we're also working, as I mentioned before, with many organizations that are providing a lot of help to people, to families. They're seeing it, whether it's in the Asian community. The Asian community has been really targeted in a lot of ways because of the origin of the flu and the virus. That's here in Rhode Island. We know that to be true, and we work with Shanavi and others that are directing in that Asian community. We're with the Haitian community as well, and they're really impacted significantly. The churches are being impacted because people are not, people have been shied away or not been allowed to come to services, and so their support to the church is something that has been impactful. We're involved with the Dominican community as well, and all communities all around the state of Rhode Island. I've used a theme, Father, in my office of that there's 39 cities and towns in Rhode Island, and each and every one is important. All the people who live in those communities are important. The communities that make up those communities are important. So, being here to share that with you and letting people know that they have help from you in terms of the work that you do, and as a church leader. And also, you can find help out of our office as well. As being a political leader out of our office, we encourage people to reach out, especially in this time of need.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Lieutenant Governor, you're just amazing, and I thank you for your leadership. Now, I do have two questions for you.
Yeah.
One is what piece of wisdom might you pass on to us? Especially as we meet this challenging moment. And the second is, who does your hair? Your hair is gorgeous.
I know. I've been blessed there, so we always count our blessings. Actually, when I could not get a haircut, I reverted back to some of my college days. The hair was out quite wide, but now I can get a haircut. Although my wife Susan said that I need one now again, so I'll go get one. But yes, I think the words of wisdom. I'm certainly not the one to provide that, but I think that it's it's having the persistence to work your way through whatever challenges you have right now, and knowing that these times are going to pass. They are, and what we do today is going to it's going to matter when things calm down. The behaviors, the way we treat people, the way we respond to people, the way we help people right now. Those are all opportunities for us to really shine, right, during a time when it's difficult. And we're working on a number of things. I want to just mention that we're working with the veterans right now very closely. You have a resident of the Westerly area, Kasim Yan, who Kasim is the veterans director of the state of Rhode Island. We just dedicated a monument, Father, to the to 9 Marines who were killed in the first terrorism attack in against the United States in Beirut in 1983, and we just dedicated this tremendous monument to them. And it was a healing for their families. It was 37 years in the makings, but it was healing for their families. And we have Marines that actually survived that attack that live in Rhode Island that have been telling their stories and advocating for them. Those are all healing, things. And it's not just one thing that you do. It's multiple things that you do to address people in any way that you can. In that case, you were really honoring, the men and women who serve in our country, to protect our freedom. And right now we're working on a plan to, because we normally during the holiday season, Father, we do a care package to every veteran, every active duty man and woman who are outside of the state of Rhode Island serving. We send them a care package from Rhode Island. We've sent as many as 500 at any given time.
Wow.
Now because of the COVID and the nature of bringing 300-400 volunteers together to do that, we're repivoting it, and we're going to raise dollars now to help the families in they call it a military relief fund that last year provided $60,000 of relief to families who are here while their mom and dad or their husband or wife are serving somewhere else, and they need funds to help pay their electricity or their car payment or those things because the income goes down. So we're doing a military relief fund. Anybody that's out there interested in supporting our military, that's a way that they can help.
We get.
We're also working on. Well, go ahead.
Well, I
Respond to
was
that.
saying,
That's an
I was just.
unbelievable program that's there, and they're down low because of the circumstances. So we're gonna raise them a significant amount of dollars so they can help those families that are the families who are not in service. They're in service. They
Yeah.
are impacted by the men and women that serve our country to protect our freedom.
Well, you know what? If Ben could get a hold of that website or whatever, we'd like to help in whatever way we can. I'll donate from our discretionary to help out with that too, and we'll also put it on our website because I think we have a lot of military families and veterans in our community too, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, so we're partnering in, and like we're doing a little bit of a shift, and we're working on that. We'll get that information,
Yeah.
whether it's moral support or whether it's financial support. It makes a difference. And if you talk to these families that are going to struggle while their loved ones are serving our country to pay a car payment or to pay a mortgage or pay a rent payment, the dollars that are privately and anonymously provided to these families is very well needed, and especially in the backdrop of everything we just talked about with the current conditions that we're living through right now, Father.
Yeah. Lieutenant Governor, you're doing amazing work. Is there one more? Is there any more initiatives that you're doing that?
Well, I think let me just let me spend a minute on what we're doing on education right now. I've really worked very hard and long years of well over almost 15 years now. It's kind of stems from that Boys and Girls Club work that my dad started years ago to give me the example. But education is so important, and we know that right now because of the virtual learning. It doesn't really matter whether you're coming from a high income, a low income, a moderate income. It doesn't matter if you're coming from a minority or non-minority household. Your children are being impacted by loss of hundreds and hundreds of hours of learning time right now. Yeah. And our school districts are going to, they got more than they can handle on their plate just to kind of, open up the way they are. But we have this loss of learning time that we need to really make up. And so we're proposing to do something that I did as a mayor I opened up a municipal education office. It's been operating for 13 years. We've been running a pre-K in our town for 13 years, all the way up to high school help in terms of, helping them with all the different academic areas. And we go 52 weeks out of the year, Father.
Wow.
This is something that we can catch up on the 100. Just think, every student, say 600 to 1,000 hours of lost learning time. I don't care if you're going to a private school, a public school, whether in a lot of ways if you're being homeschooled. This loss of time is going to impact families, and it's going to impact long-term families and the children that are going to school right now with their economic earning power, because the education is so important. So we need to figure out a way to catch up on those hours. So we're going to be proposing this: 39 cities and towns do what I did in Cumberland, create a municipal education office, and have the goal be on a 52-week time frame to provide extra learning hours to all the children that right now that are losing out on a significant amount of their education right now.
I think that's going to be a wonderful initiative. I think hopefully it'll get good bipartisan support for it.
Well, everybody, no one talks badly about education.
Good.
And the good thing about this is that I've worked, through in public schools where I've started public schools called mayoral academies. We've already proven out that many of these families that are coming from low income and disadvantaged areas can learn at higher levels than they're learning right now in our district schools. But this is going to be outside of the public school arena. This is going to be this 52-week a year. I did a community declaration in my town that education was a priority for everybody that lives in our community, and that it's not just the kids that are going to our public schools. We have kids that are living in our communities that are going to be able to, provide help to your church and other things that go to private schools in our community. So this is an all-encompassing strategy, and we'll see where it goes. But I think that there's a way to make this happen. And that's one of the projects that we're going to be working on right now, very, very dramatically. We've already raised the dollars to do the report that we can show how this can happen and what we can do to get more people of color in front of the classrooms, create a better entry level in terms of certifications and reciprocity. There's many opportunities that we have right now. And boy, if you hit that education piece, you're hitting a lot of your work. You're hitting a lot of the church's work, community work. You're creating a stronger community, and that's one of the goals that we have with entering this project. We'll share that with you as well.
No, I think that's a beautiful thing, and again, thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for all that you're doing. And I'm hoping that you come back and talk to us in the future, because we love connecting with you.
Well, we'll be in Westerly, I think, on Monday or Tuesday next week. I'll make sure that Ben knows when, and we'll stop by and see you. We're going on a tour of the local businesses and doing that work to make sure people know about the grant programs that are available and the different types of consulting work that's free of charge right now, that's already been funded by the federal dollars. There's many opportunities that we need to make our small businesses aware of.
Great. Well, God bless you, and God bless your wife and your family, and of course we'll hold Ella in our prayers too.
Yeah, have Helen Willer. That's Helen Willer. She's a remarkable woman at 92, and she raised 5 of us in the family, and she is an incredible individual that has taught me a lot about caring for people and helping people.
God bless her, and God bless you.
Right back at you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Again, just we have some really wonderful elected officials, and Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee is just one of those wonderful people that we're blessed in our state to have. And so we will pray for him as we continue to pray for our governor and all of the elected officials here in our state. And we'll also keep our national officials in our prayers, and of course the globe and all of the leaders in the world. But let us now end our time together with this prayer adapted from Bishop Thomas Brown. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Jesus Christ, you traveled through towns and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fears. which prevent nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support our elected leaders, our governor, our lieutenant governor, and the medical professionals, emergency responders, counselors and caregivers, teachers and students. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go out into the world. Spread the light of joy and hope and love, the light of Christ. The world needs it right now.